It only just got axed the Meteor Beam, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
it
only,
did.
that's a new move.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's,
new. It's returning, right?
well, yeah, what you know.
I know what you mean. But
Yeah, but it's, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's better than it's been in a while,
yeah.
and it's that better than it's been in a while
Yeah.
is a lot better.
Yeah, the meteor beam just gives it that extra level of gives it that literal extra level of damage that we're always looking for.
Yep.
It's got 130 special attack stat. It's already super powerful, and then you add in this fact that it's got the +1 and it's got the toxic debris and it's
Yep.
got like poison rock coverage.
Yeah,
which
that's
is really good.
and it's like that's not coverage for special attack you see often. You know.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not something we see very commonly. We do have usage stats for you when we get those in a second.
Coming up.
Yeah.
There we
And
go.
they
Ah,
should
ew.
be fun. What do you
Ew.
mean ill?
Incineroar. And then both Urshifus. Ugh.
Both Urshifus in the top 6. The jokes that the top 6 are just my team are no longer valid because there's both Urshifus up there. But we still see the Rapid Strike overtake the Single Strike, which is different from the trend that we've been seeing normally.
Single Strike's on the rise. It's coming up.
Yeah, it's definitely on the rise, but like it overtook Rapid Strike on the last one. So it's just interesting to see that it's still Rapid Strike on top for this, especially with Ogerpon Wellspring so high.
Ogerpon Wellspring is insanely high. Fluttermane, not surprised it's high.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good Pokemon.
Yeah, it's very good.
You know.
Yeah, we've got the Raging Bolt in the top 6. Again, not too surprising ever since the discovery of the Assault Vest Raging Bolt
Oh
set.
yeah,
It's been
the
just
Assault Vest
everywhere.
Raging Bull set. I'm a huge fan of it. I used it last PC. It got me some. It was definitely helpful at times, but it's yeah.
Yeah, we see the Tornadus. We've seen how good that is. We see the Kingambit. We've seen how good that is. Shenpao Farigiraf we've also seen on stream. This is just, like, I am not terribly surprised by anything I see.
Not really. These are all pretty good Pokemon. Landorus is the only like Pokemon that like I'm not gonna say it's out there because it's not. I'm just saying it's not something you usually see out in top 12.
Yeah,
but
it's
it is
not.
amazing. It is
Yeah.
an amazing Pokemon. You know that Sheer Force Life Orb. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the other thing is that like, where's Landorus Therian?
It's gone. Well, because here's the thing. Incineroar's back. You know, Incineroar's the new Intimidate Pokemon. And you double Intimidate is not really something you see too often, and that's not something we're really gonna be running. When you have Intimidate and Fake Out on the same Pokemon, you're gonna want to use that Pokemon.
Yeah, Incineroar is ultimate roll compression.
Yeah,
Because it just does so many different things. It's your pivot, it's your fake out, it's your intimidate, it's your fire type, right?
yeah, it's too good to not use.
Yeah. Absolutely,
Same
absolutely.
thing we say about Fluttermane. It's too good to not use. They're just both great Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. But we do have our next match coming up quickly. Austin Presley versus Matthew Lachlan. I hope I said that right. I am sorry if I did
Lachlan, one or the other.
not. One of them has to be right.
Matt is a really good player in the Florida VGC, and looking at these teams, we haven't seen this Pokemon in a while. Garchomp.
Or Tyranitar.
Or
We haven't seen
Tyran-
either of them in a while.
Well, because here's the thing. Tyranitar I see every now and then. Garchomp I don't see. I don't see it at all. We have a Corviknight, you know, potentially like to fly over those earthquakes and everything.
Corviknight is interesting because it completely walls at Land OI, and we just saw that it was top 12 in usage here today.
It completely walls Land
So it's a very good call for this tournament.
Yeah. I definitely see some Land OI weaknesses other than Corviknight on Austin's team, so Corviknight was definitely a very solid pick to have.
Yeah, and then Matthew has a more standard-looking team. We've got Specs Fluttermane. We've got Crash on Icicle Crash on Shenpao instead of Ice Spinner. We've got safety goggles on the Incin. Standard Amoonguss, standard Oak, standard Water Pond, standard Assault Vest Raging Bolt.
You know, this is a very standard team that Matt's running. He told me about it in between matches. He said, like I said, what are you running? He said, I'm running something pretty standard. And I'm like, oh, I'm not surprised. Now, Austin's team, here's some things I want to talk about. It's a Terra Grass Tyranitar, first of all. Clear Amulet Garchomp, well, not surprised by that. I'm just surprised more by Garchomp.
Right.
Single Strike Choice Scarf Urshifu Single strike Choice Scarf, not Rapid Strike Choice Scarf. Single strike Choice
With
Scarf.
Ice Punch.
With Ice Punch. Wicked Blow. No Sucker Punches at all, by the way. No Sucker Punch at all. And then Terra Poison.
I see the vision though.
I don't.
Like
I see the vision.
you're
It's
already
just
so
not.
fast.
You're already so fast. Yes, I see the vision. I just don't see it often. You know, and it's just not something I'm used to.
Yeah.
On this Corviknight, we see a body press, but there is no
Iron Defense.
there's no iron defense at all.
We
There
get Taunt
we
instead.
get taunt. There's no protect. There's Tailwind. There's Brave Bird. It has
Yeah.
a variety of tools it could use.
Yeah, Taunt is kind of good here because we see the Amoonguss on the other side.
Oh, taunt on Amoonguss. It's amazing. Is this Amoonguss standard?
It
This
is
is a standard
This
Amoonguss.
is more standard
This is-
Amoonguss, yes.
This is the. Listen, we've had several different Amoongusses on stream. Amoonguy on stream so far, and this is the first Amoonguss. I know, like, they're becoming more standard, but this is the standard Amoonguss. It's
Yeah.
Protect, Palm Puff, Spore, Rage Powder, and with Citrus Berry and Terra Water. It's the standard Amoonguss. What you're
Yep.
used to seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing crazy here. The craziness is all on Austin's side.
Yeah. Oh, there. The craziness is all on Austin's side.
Yeah.
We're about to get into this first match, and so
Austin versus Matthew. We see the Ogerpon and Fluttermane from Matthew's end, and on Austin's side, we see the Garchomp and Corviknight.
so we might see those earthquakes like I was talking about. Garchomp, even though it has Clear Amulet, it doesn't have Sword Stance at all. It has Iron Head, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Protect. And it has Sandville over Rough Skin because of the
We've got the sand.
we have Sandstream. We have Sandstream. We have Tyranitar.
For sure. It's Terra Steel on the Garchomp, so I wouldn't. So if I'm Austin, I'm not too afraid of this Fluttermane, purely because you can Terra out of it and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Well, fine in quotation marks. It's still a Fluttermane.
It's yeah. I don't think this Fluttermane is in too good of a position, oddly enough, and that's not something you normally say.
Yeah. We do see the Terra coming out from Matthew. It's going to be onto this water pond.
Yep, that water ogre pond. It's going to get that special defense boost. Not really helping out too much here though, because of the fact that either of us and Pokemon are special attackers.
Yeah, the bigger thing for this is that it gets rid of the Brave Bird weakness from this Corviknight. We see the Garchomp Protect, just wants to keep itself safe in front of this Fluttermane. Shadow
Awesome.
Ball into the Corviknight.
Possibly to scout out what that Choice Specs is using.
Yep, does 50%, heals up with almost exactly 50%. Going to heal up with this Citrus Berry. And then we're going to see the Ivy Cudgel into the Corviknight as well. He calls the Protect. Ivy Cudgel, does this pick up the KO with the Terra Water? It does not.
It does not. It really
Not
doesn't
even
do
close.
too much.
Brave Bird comes out.
I
into the
honestly would
Fluttermane.
have expected a Tailwind. That's what
Yeah.
I was expecting.
Does about 50% there.
So honestly, Austin's not in too good of a position. I wouldn't say it's a terrible position, but I wouldn't call it good.
Yeah, he lost the damage trade there. It was a very good turn, very good prediction from Matthew. The Shadow Ball also covers if the Garchomp goes Terra Steel, which is really handy. But the one I think you're right that this Floodmane is not in it's not in the best of positions because it's threatened by this Garchomp.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's if a Follow Me comes from the Ogre Pond, then the Iron Head's gonna be not very effective.
It's not going to do a whole lot.
Not gonna do a lot at all. So, oh, did that run out of time or
No, I think he got it. He got
got it barely in time.
Yep,
1 second left.
Corviknight switching out, coming in the Farigiraf, shiny Farigiraf. Blocking priority, though that's not useful here. Fluttermane goes for the Shadow Ball into this Garchomp. Does more than 50%. Is this Ogerpon faster? It is not. Dragon Claw comes out, a little less than
Ooh,
50%.
Not doing too much. That Ivy Cudgel, if it goes on that Garchomp, that looks like it's gonna take it out. Yep, that Garchomp is down. That's a very valuable piece for Austin, but it's so losing that's not good.
Yeah. And
It's-
now all of a sudden Austin is relying solely on this Urshifu for damage output because Farigiraf doesn't have the greatest damage output. Corviknight does not have the greatest damage output. Corviknight does also not have any recovery because its Citrus Berry is gone. So it's Austin is relying really heavily on this Urshifu to bring this game back.
Honestly, a helping hand and a wicked blow would take out that Ogerpon just fine. And the Shadow Ball is not threatening too much. So I think the Flutterman is kind of forced to switch out in this situation. I don't see a reason for going over the poison.
See,
Because
he's debating the Terra. He's debating the Terra. I think it comes down. I think it comes down to what you're expecting in the back. Because this,
yes, withdraw on the Flutterman.
Yeah,
okay.
we see the Flutterman withdraw. So if you bring in something like, say, the Shenpao, right? We see the Incineroar come out. But if you bring in the Shenpao, for instance, right? All of a sudden you're now resisting the Sacred Sword. And the bigger thing is that you don't have, if you need to, now you have the Poison type as a defensive switch into this Fluttermane. Whereas if you don't Terra now, you're relying on Urshifu's natural typing, which is not good against Fluttermane. Especially not against those fairy moves. But we see the Terra Poison, Wicked Blow comes out. This is going to KO the Ogerpon through the Intimidate thanks to that critical hit. Terra's gone on Matthew's side, Incin comes in.
Even though this is the first turn Incineroar is out, it's not going to be able to do that fake out because of the fact that, and Psychic's not going to do anything against this.
Yeah, but Farigiraf blocked this fake out.
Farigiraf's going to be able to block a fake out that comes in, so, and any Sucker Punches. So honestly, Austin's not in an awful position, but I wouldn't say it's that great.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. We see that this Farigiraf is not threatened by this Shenpao because the Shenpao is not carrying, it's not carrying a non-priority Dark move, so it should be able to take it. Farigiraf should be able to last this turn no problem.
And yeah, this Urshifu has to switch out because of the fact that it's locked in Wicked Blow is not going to do much against either the Shenpao or Incineroar.
Yeah, so we see the Corviknight come back in. Corviknight is probably going to drop to anything that they want to throw at it. Icicle Crash comes out, deals less than 50%. Flinch.
Oh, but the flinch!
So the knockoff comes out, and that's a KO on the Farigiraf.
Very unfortunate.
And Austin is down another piece already.
That is very fortunate for Austin to be in right now. It's not the worst situation for Austin, but it's not a good one.
No.
It's not a good one.
No, and the problem is that if you lock into close combat and Ogerpon goes down, Fluttermane just walls you out and you win. And you lose. But if you go for Wicked Blow, then these two Pokemon are walling you out right now.
It's just not a good position. And even the Qianpao can't be taken out in one shot from a close combat because of the fact that there's the Focus Sash. Yeah.
It's a rough situation here for Austin.
Yeah, and I honestly think as long as so we're doing a Wicked Blow, and what else is going to happen?
Yeah, you can't lock into close combat here. You just automatically lose to the Fluttermane.
Exactly, because then if the Corviknight.
Yeah, Corviknight goes down here. So and we saw how much damage this Urshifu was doing. It is doing not very much. We're going to see the Parting Shot. Should be able to bring in the Fluttermane.
The Parting Shot, the drops are not going to do anything because it's locked in the Wicked Blow, and therefore it's
crit. Just going to cut through it. I'm interested to see if this I don't think this Fluttermane can take a Wicked Blow because it's at half.
No, it definitely can't. But here's the thing. Qianpao and Incineroar are just in too good of a position for it to matter.
Yeah, the lock into Wicked Blow is, like, he had no other option here.
Oh, not at all.
Just going to switch the Fluttermane back into this Incineroar, get the fake out pressure. Shenpao can very cleanly go for either of its stab moves.
Yeah, personally, I think a Sucker Punch would be, better because of the fact that there's no misses.
Yeah, and it's Scarf, so there's no risk. And the Incineroar survives. So now there's a very easy fake out Sucker Punch.
It's a fake out Sucker Punch. It's just too good of a position for Matthew right now.
Yep. Here comes the fake out.
Fake out, and this Sucker Punch should be able to take the knockout.
He goes for Icicle Crash instead. Probably thinking he can afford to miss if he misses here. But
yeah,
Urshifu goes down.
Reaching out.
Urshifu goes down, and that is game 1 to Matthew. The standard team beating the off-meta, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Off-meta Sand is definitely something you'll call it because, we didn't see any sand from Austin.
Yeah,
even though this is a Sand squad,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, is you have the Shin Pao with Sacred Sword, you have the Fluttermane with the super effective attacks, you have the Incineroar to slow it down.
Yep.
The Tyranitar is not in it's not
in a good position.
Yes, it's not in a great position here to thrive, and like it's not threatening anything really either.
No,
like
it's
it
not.
has the heavy slam, so it can threaten this Fluttermane, but it doesn't have anything else to hit anything else on the rest of his team for super effective damage.
Yep.
So the Tyranitar doesn't bring any value here. So you're basically playing with a 5-mon team into Matthew's team,
Yep.
and Matthew's team is his team is standard, but it's standard for a reason.
Because they're good Pokemon.
They are good Pokemon. There's a reason that they're up on. There's a reason
they're
they're on the
consistent.
usage.
He has the core of fire, water, grass. I mean, I know Ogerpon is water and grass.
I believe
but still.
Matthew's entire team was on the day 2 graphic, or was on the Chronicle graphic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's they're all pretty good Pokemon, and I think
They are very good Pokemon.
like in the top 12 today, I think only 3 of Austin's are on there, but that's still half of his team. I mean, the other 3 we knew were off meta.
Yeah. But we're getting into game 2 right now. Again, Matthew versus Austin. Matthew is going to be leading with this Shen Pao and Fluttermane, and Austin brings the Raging Bolt and Corviknight.
Now, listen, I love the Giraffe. I think the Giraffe is a hilarious guy. Now, what Terra does that Raging Ball
Fairy.
has? Fairy. Terra Fairy. Okay. What?
No, I think we're looking at the wrong team. We're looking at the wrong team sheet.
Okay, I was like,
It's over here.
okay,
Terra
electric.
Electric.
I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
Terra Electric. Matthew's
hold
is
on.
Terra Yeah, Matthews is Terra
Yeah.
Fairy.
Okay, so we have the Terra Electric to get more damage. This is the safety goggles set, so you know, it has the Thunderclap and Thunderbolt, so that Terra Electric would definitely benefit.
Yeah, it would definitely help here. It's the Raging Bolt is under immense pressure right now because the Fluttermane can hit for super effective, the Shen Pao can hit for super effective, and they're both faster than
It has to Terra in order to live, but even so, if they double into it, you're wasting a Terra at the very beginning.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
burning a Terra so early is.
it's very risky.
Speaking of
it's-
burning Terras early.
Speaking of, we should see a Terra from Matthew's side with the Terra Fairy. What is it? This is a Choice Specs, if I'm not wrong, right? Right. Yeah, this is a Choice Specs Fluttermane.
We see the Protect.
You see the Protect. I imagine there's going to be a Moonblast going into that Raging Bolt, but
Dazzling
Dazzling
Gleam.
Gleam. Getting a
Dazzling
li-
will do the same and give you chip into the Corviknight. I'm
Yep.
curious to see how much this does though, because we haven't seen. We saw the Shadow Ball did 50%, so how much does this?
If you notice, this Fluttermane's faster.
That's still a lot.
This
And it
Fluttermane's
helps
faster than the
Shen
Pao.
Pao. So Shen Pao is adamant and Fluttermane is probably timid.
Yeah.
It's an indication of how they are trained.
Unless they're both, because I think they both have the same speed set. So
They
unless
do.
they're both
They
just
do. I doubt they would.
maxed, I doubt it.
Oh, that's a
I
lot
doubt
of
it. That
damage.
is a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's that sort of ruin definitely gives a boost to Austin this time.
Yeah. And now you're in a good position to just click the Thunderclap button into Fluttermane, and Fluttermane will go down.
Yep. You are in a good position to do that.
Yeah, there's no Farigiraf on Matthew's side, so there's nothing to block this if he wants to go for that.
Austin seems like he's debating on whether that's a good idea, because if he switches out, that Thunderclap's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and if he does, and if he stays in, he kind of has like this because
He's
Corviknight's
thinking about the Thunderbolt.
this Corviknight is probably going to go down if it doesn't switch out, and the Corviknight is your only form of speed control.
Yep.
We see the Fluttermane switch
Fluttermane
out.
switch out so if Austin clicks the Thunderclap, it's not going to do any damage.
And we see the Incineroar come out. This Mirror Armor is going to reflect the Intimidate back onto this Incineroar. Not that this Incineroar was here to do damage, but it is still limiting this damage output as this Corviknight switches out as well. We're going to see the Tyranitar come out. And
Lovely to see this lovely shiny Tyranitar. And we were talking about the Sandstream last game. Happy to see it finally coming out.
yeah, and this one thing that this does do is it's going to break this Shen Pao's Focus Sash, because I don't think this Shen Pao has been hit yet. And that's going to prevent. That's going to mean it could just be O-code by whatever Austin wants to throw at it, assuming
Yep.
assuming
that
it's powerful enough.
Austin chose the Thunderclap, and it's not going to be doing any damage. The Ice Hole Crash, it looks like it missed. Ooh. Solid turn for Austin. Saved by a miss.
I mean, it's not saved by miss, but it's certainly a lot better with
Oh,
it.
sure.
Certainly a lot
Yeah,
better
for
with
sure.
it. This Raging Bolt is now putting out massive amounts of damage with this Terra Electric. I'm curious to see what this Tyranitar chooses to go for because it's under so much pressure from this Shen Pao and its Sacred Sword.
Yeah, but the rock slide would go crazy.
The Rock Slide would go crazy, but I don't think it, yeah, with this,
Yeah,
we're going to see the
that-
Sacred Sword into the
And
Tyranitar.
that's going to be a one-hit KO. By no one's surprised. Quad effect, super effective.
Yeah. The sand is up. That's good for that's going to be good for chip damage, but I don't know. The Tyranitar did not bring much to this game. We see the Garchomp and the Corviknight in the back. I'm curious to see which one he goes for because the Garchomp is going to benefit more from the sand directly, but it's also under immense pressure from the Shen Pao. The Shen Pao is putting on a lot.
This Shen Pao is
lot of pressure.
I realize that Austin's team is definitely very Shen Pao weak, but I think that's why Figgraph is there to scare people into not using it. But in general, this Shen Pao is sitting pretty.
Yeah. Shen Pao has been putting in a whole lot of work this set. I don't think it's to anyone's surprise, but it's definitely putting Austin in a bind here.
Yeah, it's not a good situation for Austin right now. It's Matthew has all 4 of his Pokemon, and Austin's still sitting with 3, but you know, one of them is at low health. One of them
Shen Pao
is
takes the
even
Sacred
lower health.
Shen Pao takes the Sacred, or Shen Pao. Corviknight takes the Sacred Sword though. Shen Pao's going to take the
Thunderbolt
Thunderbolt.
taking out that Shen Pao, just like we've been saying. That Shen Pao is the biggest threat on the field.
Yep, we're going to see this Corviknight.
Tailwind.
Tailwind comes out. He's got the speed control now.
Tailwind's very important for Austin to have right now. That speed control is very important.
But
Parting
parting
shot onto that Raging Bolt.
Raging Bolt is now behind in its damage output. Effectively, the Terra Boost is neutralized now because of this parting shot. As we see the Ogerpon come in for Matthew, there is no Terra, so this Ogerpon is not weak to this Raging Bolt, and that's something. And even with the special attack, even with the special defense boost, that would not be good to take. We see Incineroar come back in again, applying fake out pressure onto the field, and we still have the Flutter Mane in the back.
This is still a pretty good position for Matthew to be in right now. Obviously not incredible, but I would say it's pretty nice.
It's certainly better than his position was 2 turns ago.
Oh, definitely. Definitely bringing it back. I wonder to see if he can pull out this game.
It's certainly a risk.
Certainly is a risk. Every single move.
It's certainly a risky game to try and pull out because yeah, he's running out of options.
He is running out of options. He has many options, but all of them are risky. All of them are risk plays.
Yeah.
Just like we see this Garchomp, the Pokemon fan, is coming out.
Garchomp's coming back in. Incineroar's going to fake out into this Corviknight, does next to nothing.
Now,
but it
how
will
much
prevent it from
does
moving this turn.
this Ogerpon do with its Ivy Cudgel?
Into the Garchomp, connects.
Oh, it does about half.
50%. But this Garchomp still has the Tailwind.
It has Tailwind and Earthquake with no effect to that Corviknight. So this Brave Bird could go into this Ogerpon, and yes, it might take Corviknight out. But honestly, that's a free switch.
Yeah, if you trade the Ogerpon for this Corviknight, I think that's a good trade on Austin.
I think that's an amazing trade. Austin might be able to pull us out very nicely.
Yeah, it looked dire a little early, but he's starting to pull it back. Spiky Shield comes out though.
That makes sense as a play right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, not too surprised.
Yeah, Garchomp's the fastest thing on the field. Gonna go for this Earthquake. Doesn't affect this Corviknight, and it's not intimidated, so it's gonna deal a whole lot of damage to this Incineroar. Incineroar takes about 60%.
Takes about 60%. Brave Bird going into that Ogerpon. However, the Spiky Shield making it so
it goes down.
Corviknight is down, and Incineroar, it can do some good damage.
It's gonna get a Flare Blitz off.
It's gonna get a little bit of chip. It's a Dragon type, so you know it's going to be resisted, but that's still a decent chip.
Yeah, it's
everything matters.
And the sandstorm subsides, so there's no more evasion to try and pull Austin out of it. Raging Bolt comes back in, but
I mean, the Tailwind's still up though, right? I think the Tailwind's still up.
I believe the Tailwind has one more turn.
So it's just Garchomp would love to Earthquake, but at the same time,
Yeah, it's
Is it worth it?
yeah, because this raging. I think
Can
this
your
raging,
own Raging Bolt live that Earthquake?
I think the bigger question is, can this raging bolt afford the damage?
Oh,
It's going for-
protect.
It's going for protect, so
That's
it'll
an
protect
interesting
itself
play.
from the Garchomp Earthquake. But the thing about
Oh, a double spiky shield.
trying to predict the Thunderclap, I think, and Garchomp's gonna go for Earthquake. Gonna probably take out this Incineroar.
Get some
Have to wait and
chip
see.
onto Ogerpon. Take
Incineroar-
out that Incineroar.
Instant goes down.
Tiny bit of damage on that Ogerpon.
Yep, Instant goes down. But now this Fluttermane comes back in as Tailwind should end.
Yeah, if Tailwind's ending
Tailwind
ending right
And
here.
Tailwind peters out.
And even though there is Thunderclap as an option, there's Follow Me coming from that Ogerpon, and that's just
We still have the Terra Fairy Fluttermane in the back.
it's super risky right now
So-
for both players.
Yeah. So the question, I think, is does Austin go for the Thunderbolt or Thunderclap? Because if it's Thunderclap, the Fluttermane goes down guaranteed, but the Ogerpon could follow me it away. Whereas if he goes for Thunderbolt, he has to take a hit from his Fluttermane.
I think Thunderbolt might be the answer as the Protect's coming. So it's protecting from a potentially Dazzling Gleam or
Follow Me comes
Follow
out.
Me. So we saw Austin choose Thunderbolt, and that was the correct option here.
Moonblast
Now
into
Moonblast
the Raging Bolt.
into the Raging Bolt. How much damage is that going to do?
We've seen this do a whole lot before, and that does
Oh,
so much damage.
so much bolt coming from this Raging Bolt. And
Thunderbolt
let's see
comes
how much
out,
this Thunderbolt does.
this KO.
If that
It-
hit, oh no!
And now,
No.
I don't think Austin, does Austin have an out still?
It doesn't look like Austin has an out anymore
Because he can't, no, I think it's still possible. It's still possible.
It is
'cause,
possible,
Like,
but is it probable?
let's say this, like, no, because if the Ogerpon goes down this turn, Fluttermane goes down, like if you go protect, let's think about this. If you go protect with this Raging Bolt
I
and
think
Earthquake, that takes both of them out. But then if you do that and Garchomp goes down, you lose.
who's faster, Garchomp or Fluttermane?
I would assume Fluttermane.
Fluttermane. So Fluttermane could go for a Moonblast on that.
We see the protect coming out from this Raging Bolt. What is this Fluttermane do? We see the Moonblast into the Garchomp.
Into the Garchomp, and that should be the game.
That should seal this
that
game up.
should-
Garchomp goes down to the
Because
Moonblast.
what I was thinking is either way, Garchomp just used Protect. You want to use that Moonblast into the Garchomp to have a guaranteed KO. Because as long as Matthew got one knockout, the game was his.
Yeah, and now Matthew has a very safe follow. Now Matthew just has a very safe follow me Moonblast, and that should seal this game up for Matthew. Oh, no, he does not pull out the follow me. Raging Bolt takes out this Fluttermane. So can this Ogerpon take out this Raging
I
Bolt?
still
from
think
the
the
HP it's at left?
Ogerpon will be able to take it out.
I think it will, but it's gonna be close
But if it doesn't, that's super unfortunate for
for Matthew.
Matthew.
And it does
Still
go
takes
down.
it out.
It
so
still goes down.
Matthew wins the game with a barely living Ogerpon.
Ogerpon,
Like that HP, what is that?
There's 1% left remaining.
There's
for
1%
HP across both teams.
It's crazy. Matthew looks very happy about that game.
Yeah,
and
and that's good.
I
That should be
can't
the-
blame him. That's a
the
very
set.
satisfying win.
Yeah, and that's the set. That's the set to Matthew. That was such a close end game.
That was
second game.
a very close end game. Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, I think I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna try and criticize these players.
No.
They're the ones playing. I'm the one casting. I'm gonna let them make their I'm gonna let them make their decisions. That is, and I think that's the beauty of this is that like, right? Like off meta stuff can win. We've seen it win before, but there's also a reason standard stuff is standard.
Yes, because standard
Standard stuff is good.
standard for a reason.
Yes, exactly. I think the one thing I would have liked to see, what this Amoonguss could have done, because there's nothing, like, the only thing that threatens it is this Corviknight. Realistically. Like, the only thing that threatened the Amoonguss was the Corviknight. So I would have liked to see what the Amoonguss could do in this situation,
I think,
but it makes sense why
I think
Matthew
the
avoided
single
it.
strike could have potentially threatened the Amoonguss. Maybe a little bit, but in general, Matthew knew what he was doing. He did very good. Like, it's 2-0 win, not much to complain about there.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Not at all. And so, wow. I mean, let's just talk about Matthew's team. Like we said, it's a pretty standard set. We have Incineroar and Terraghost that we've been seeing more often. Amoonguss, like we were talking about, this is a standard Amoonguss, not the weird ones we've been seeing all day. I mean, they're not weird, but you know, this is your bread and butter Amoonguss. It's the most basic one you get.
Right. We see the Assault Vest on the Raging Bolt. Assault Vest,
Yep.
Terra Fairy. with Snarl and Dragon Pulse instead of Draco Meteor. That's more I believe that's more standard on Assault Vest because you want the consistent damage from the Dragon Pulse.
I mean, I love Assault Vest Raging Bolt. It's definitely.
Yeah, we didn't see it here, but that's becoming more and more.
It's becoming more and more popular because it is very good. It is definitely good.
Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we have the Garchomp as well. We didn't see a whole lot from this Garchomp. This Garchomp definitely put in some work, but it didn't do. I don't think it did as much as Austin would have liked it to be doing.
No.
Because like you needed. Like, for it to do anything here, you need to Terra Steel so you don't get just immediately destroyed by Shin
I mean,
Pao.
personally, I would have just given it Bright Powder with that Sandveil, you know. Like we do with
Articuno.
Articuno and that Snow Cloak.
No,
what are you talking about?
That's just degenerate. No.
What are you wow. All right.
But Clear Amulet makes sense here because Incineroar's picking up. Even if it's not as common, Landorus is still a thing. So you're threatened from Intimidate, you're threatened from Parting Shot. We've seen even Clear Amulet Entei on occasion. We saw that in one of the tournaments.
I see Gouging Fire Clear Amulet more often than I do Entei.
Well, of course, but
yeah,
Entei is interesting because it's already got Inner Focus.
True.
Which is why I think it's such an interesting slot. But
hold on.
Oh, we've got 5 matches left.
So,
okay.
Are we getting cooked? Do you want to do trivia?
Let's just do that and go straight into the next one.
Let's do that for a bit.
All right.
Just put these over here.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Do you have any predictions for Pokemon Day? What they're gonna announce?
Nope, but we've got a Pokedex entry.
We do?
We can talk about that later. Able to freely control the hardness of its metallic shell, it loathes solitude and is extremely clingy. It will fume and run riot if those dearest to it ever leave its side. Okay then. Okay then.
Loathes solitude and is extremely clingy.
I have not read this Pokedex entry before. So it's a steel type?
I mean, I'd imagine it is. I don't see anything else it would be.
Yeah. Let's see. Something with a shell.
True. I didn't even think about the shell. Wow.
I don't think it's Shelmet or a Scavalier. I don't think that line makes sense. Either of them. Because they don't seem social.
They don't seem like they would run riot either.
No. Well, they could run riot, but that's I don't know.
That one. I don't know.
It could float riot.
It could float riot. Yeah. Shoot. What?
I keep thinking Matang, but Matang doesn't have a shell. It's just made of steel.
I mean, I was thinking of Varoom, oddly enough. I know that's weird, but you know how fast those guys go. That's the only reason I thought of them, but
I mean,
I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say Varoom. I'll say Varoom. I know it's probably not it, but I'll go with my gut.
Yeah, I have no ideas at all. The only one that's come to mind is Shelmet. I guess I'll plug that.
Oh, it's Hisuian Gudra.
Oh.
All right.
That was the first one I thought of, and then it said Run Riot, and I'm like,
those guys can run. They don't look like they can.
That is definitely its Legends Arceus entry, though.
Oh yeah.
Sure, like it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is. That's probably I was gonna say that's its Legends Arceus entry. The Legends Arceus entries tend to be a little longer because there's only one game to cover for them, so they have to put both of the entries together into one.
Yeah.
So they tend to be a little longer.
But where it's Cotton Sports, if you accidentally breathe them in, you'll be racked with coughs and itchiness. Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with my gut here. I'm not gonna try and think about this too hard. Every time I've thought about this too hard, I've gotten it wrong.
No. You gonna say Whimsicott?
I was gonna say Cottony actually.
All right, then I'll say Whimsicott. Let's see which one.
Jumpluff.
What? Like, come on.
What do you mean Come on.
Oh man, I thought it was one of those.
It does get cotton sport.
I
though,
know,
right?
but come on. Oh, I love Jump. Jumpluff's a funny guy,
Like, Jumpluff is a very funny guy. We've seen Joe Ugarte do well with it.
and that was shocking to me. Now, extremely strong. It can change the landscape. It is so insolent that it doesn't care about others.
Changing landscape makes me think Regigigas. But I don't think it's insolent.
I don't think that they would add insolent that it doesn't care about others.
Huh. It'd be cool if we got more hints. But that
It was.
it was just on stream, huh? It's not any of the paradoxes. Wait, we have the team sheets. We have the team sheets. Let's look at these.
Oh, it's definitely. That's
Is
probably.
it
That's probably
Tyranitar?
T-Tar. That's probably
It's
T-Tar.
probably Tyranitar then, right?
Yeah, it's probably Tyranitar. I don't see what else.
Yeah,
Is it Tyranitar?
it is Tyranitar. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of half joking about the hints, but I'm glad we got it.
I mean, if the hint was that it was just on stream, looking at all of them, Tyranitar is the only one I can think of.
Yeah, that's the only one that made sense based on the ones that were just
Oh
on
yeah,
stream.
for sure. Okay.
All right, next round is up. All right, so we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back for the next round. I'll see you guys on the other side.